Ohtani. Break it down, Rafa.
Gambling. Ohtani's gambling.
Scrambling.
Listen,
Gambling.
No. We can, however you want to word it. If you sports gamble, whether it's in Vegas or it's on Barstool or FanDuel or whatever it is, before you gambled in Vegas at the MGM, before you got that MGM app, before you downloaded KUTT, before you downloaded Barstool and DraftKings and all that shit, FanDuel and all that, you had a bookie, okay? And your bookie is not going to give you a credit limit of $500,000 or $1 million or $100,000 or $200,000 when you're a fucking interpreter, okay? So if the guy works at Chipotle, all right, your bookie is probably not going to give you a $10,000 credit line. So you're telling me Ohtani wants us to fucking believe that his interpreter lost $4.5 million when he was making $300,000 a year. Now they're saying that he stole the money from him. Listen, to wire money, there's certain things that go into it. Okay? Nobody can just get on your laptop and fucking wire the money. That's just the way it is. Okay? There's certain things that need to go through it. Now you're going to tell me that this man didn't realize that he had $4.5 million missing in the last 2 years or in the last 6 months, whatever it is? No. But what's the easiest thing to do? Listen, stay your ass in fucking Japan. You were born here, or you might not have been born here, whatever it was. Stay your ass in Japan. You don't need to come here anymore. You don't need to answer the questions. I'm going to take care of you. That's what it's going to be like. This guy took this money in whatever it was, September, October, December, whatever it was. They found out last week. Who said it? Who said something? Was it the bookie? Because the bookie's got his asshole tight?
Well,
or was it Ohtani?
No.
Who was it? Giggity.
No. But if you look at it, the whole reason this whole story came out is because this bookie, Matt, I forget Campbell. Bauer. He was already in trouble. So the investigation was on. It's sort of like sort of like the Washington Redskin thing where they looked in the emails and like, oh, what's this?
Right. So
that's how he got caught.
Well, he got caught. Right. That's how he got caught. Right. So we're going to say that the bookie's the one who put the story out there. So now, are we going to believe that an interpreter lost $4.5 million and it was paid? Are you going to believe that?
So I heard an interview on the radio. I think it was DP. He had like a gambling expert. And if you look at the numbers, this is what's interesting. If you lose $4.5 million, you're gambling. And this is what the guy said. I can't remember, pass on, or he was a gambling expert and he had bookie experience. He's like, that means that this dude has he's gambling like $80 million a year.
Or more, right. Through
or
bets,
more, because you win bets, you lose bets. Right. And if you lose that kind of amount of money, there's a pool of like $80 million. Now, your theory of an interpreter getting an $80 million line.
Well, his line wasn't $80 million, but for example, if you take like last week, we're betting $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 a game. We're not losing all the bets. We're not winning all the bets, obviously, right? But when you win one, you're cashing a ticket, you're cashing $2,000, you're betting another $1,500.
Yeah.
This guy, if he had a $500,000 credit line and he put in 5 bets of $100,000 a piece, well, if he won 2 and lost 3, well, he's only down, $300,000.
So what do you
or 90 whatever thousand?
What would you estimate his line to be?
He could have had a line of $250,000.
Yeah.
Or $100,000. It doesn't matter. It's a fucking interpreter. No bookie that's been doing it for this long, and this man has been linked to Yasiel Puig and a bunch of other fucking people. There's no way that dude is an idiot to give a fucking interpreter a line of $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, knowing damn well that he's only making $300,000 a year.
What if he knew that he's Shohei's interpreter? And
what does that mean?
He's like,
I know you're stealing from Ohtani.
He will cover me.
We don't know. Nobody goes on, he will cover me. If you go to somebody,
if I told you Shohei has my back,
Eddie, and then he comes out and he says that the money was stolen. If I lose $100,000 and Eddie gives me $100,000, right, to pay my bills,
and my wife can't
you
me,
knew
I'm gonna say you stole it.
You're gonna say you stole it.
Well, to be fair, they had to switch up the story so that he won't either get a fine or a suspension. That was the main thing.
Of course. So the story's a fucking lie.
I agree with you.
The story's been switched up from the beginning. There's no way in hell. And you were betting soccer or whatever it was, hockey, whatever it was. You did it. But you're going to get in trouble. And the MLB cannot afford for that guy, the only ticket that they have at this point, because nobody else is tuning in to watch other players in reality, not too many. They're not gonna suspend him.
Can I talk about the real villain in this whole saga that no one has talked about?
Not the interpreter.
It's the California Anaheim Angels. Ohtani was so bored and wasn't in competition, he had to gamble to get a feel of any competition. It's the Angels' fault. Ohtani was bored. He wanted to have some kind of action on the line. Playing for the Angels, ain't no action on the line, man.
By the way, the idiots out there who are making memes of, and posting a game, Ohtani had over on the Braves runs of 6.5 in this game for $500,000 or whatever. Nobody's doing that shit. And even then, even if you knew that you were Ohtani's bookie, you were never letting Ohtani bet on a game that he's pitching. You knew that. So even if he was the case, so dumbass people making those memes where, Ohtani had this much money on this game. One of them is like, the Braves over this and that. The game was 0-0 into the 7th. And then they scored like 6 or 7 runs off of him. So it's like, he didn't pitch good for 6 innings. All right, here in the 7th, crush me.
So here are the 4 possible outcomes of this whole Ohtani situation. If it comes out to be true that he is the actual victim of theft, nothing happens to him, he's fine. If the second thing happens, which is they find out that he bet but not on baseball, he will just receive an undisclosed fine. Third, if they figure out Ohtani worked for a bookie, he will receive a suspension. Or if they found out Ohtani bet on sports, including baseball, he will be ineligible for a whole year.
Ooh,
see, that's bullshit. Who put that out?
Pete Rose is rolling around.
The thing is, that right there, where if they found out he bet on baseball and he only gets banned for a year,
come on,
is total bullshit because you banned Pete Rose.
You better put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame.
I'll tell you what, exactly.
A week ago.
If you ban Ohtani for 1 year because you found out that he might have bet on a baseball game, you ban him for a year, guess who's in the fucking Hall of Fame the next day? You better show up at Pete Rose's house with the whole every Hall of Famer that's alive. Show up at Pete Rose's house and let him know you're getting inducted in July. So Ohtani is a fucking degenerate gambler, whether you want to believe it or not. I fucking believe it. I believe he's a total degenerate, especially when he was playing soccer.
Why do you believe it? Because the Dodger haters are coming out of the cracks.
I believe it. You're gonna tell me, Eddie? How does it make sense to you that you put out this story first that he beat you for the money, that he stole the money from you?
I just don't want to believe it.
I don't care if he did it or not. I don't give a shit. I hope he doesn't get suspended because that's the only thing you can ever watch when you're watching baseball, unless you're watching the Braves.
I rest my case.
Matthew Rocha said, could he have had higher numbers possibly? Maybe he took the foot off the gas once he covered the run line.
I like that.
Good one.
I like
That's
that.
a good one, Matt. I like it. But listen, that people, they're not going to shake that for a while. And this investigation is not going to be done for probably 2 years. That's how this shit works.
Well, MLB needs it to go on as long as possible without suspending him. If he gets suspended by baseball, it's a shit show. Because now they need to do what they'll have to do what they don't want to do, and that's let Pete Rose into the Hall of Fame. And Pete Rose should be in no matter what.
Well,
and
even worse is that Ohtani, and this is why it had to be, a team of people trying to help this out, but why he shouldn't have said anything. He came out and made an official statement. I've never gambled. I've never done this.
He had to say it. What do you mean he didn't have to say anything? He had to say something.
That's also when he switched the story to make it so that if his case is determined true, nothing happens to him.
Listen, the first rule of Godfather, you don't say anything. He just incriminated himself and went on and said, I didn't do this. Now if it comes out, the crime will be, or the punishment will be even worse because he lied to everybody.
He had to lie about sending the money because he would be sending money to an illegal activity.
Yeah, and he would be suspended.
Which is why he had to lie about that
Take
part.
the fifth, man.
Rick Flores said that college football player who had the same password as his name is the guy that's taking the fall for this. He was the
Very
partner.
good.
Yeah. Listen, there's also an obvious solution to all this is that download the KUTT App. It's legal in California, man. I mean, shit.
It's not going to be legal for athletes, though, Ed.
Ohtani bet on cut, he would still have the same repercussions.
Actually, the MLB has a gambling. You can gamble on other sports,
just not on baseball.
Yeah, so I go on cut and gamble on someone else, man. I'm giving him a solution. We hope you enjoyed this episode, guys. Don't forget, if you like this content, if Rafa the Guru gave you a nice pick, make sure you hit the like button,
subscribe, check us out every Friday for our live show, 6 p.m. Pacific time.